Hello and welcome back to Bluebird Lane Creations. My name's Tiffany and it's time to get creative. So we're back today with Sample Book Sunday. This seems to be my most popular day, and I have just had so much support and growth on my channel. It's just been amazing. I'm very, very thankful to all of you who keep returning and watching and commenting and interacting with me. I'm getting to know names. I'm becoming familiar with people. It's just been so wonderful. So I just want to say thank you. I just want to take a minute to say thank you. And we're going to continue in our Golden Gleanings of Poetry and Songbook. This is a book that I have rescued from near-death experience, and it's from the late 1800s, but it had such beautiful pages in it that I decided that I couldn't leave it, and I took it, and I've been making things. So if I go further than where we're working, you can just see all of these images, poems, beautiful things. So any pages that I tear out, I am trying to save so that I may incorporate them back in somehow or in other projects. So I have picked a page that we're going to work on today. And some of you had kind of told me some tips and tricks of keeping my book open. I appreciate it so much. This book is beefy, but look what I did. I bought one of these book weights. Gail Agostinelli has one of these, and I after I realized how many people gave me tips on keeping my book open, I realized I needed one. So it can hold it can hold the one side down while you're working. It's just really handy. It can hold, if you're in the middle of it, it can hold the whole thing open, but we're going to use it on the one side today, to allow those pages not to flip up on us while we're working. And I have selected this gorgeous image of this gal. It looks like she may be, maybe these are hydrangeas. She's just appreciating the beauty around her. I don't know what kind of flowers these are down here, but these kind of look like a hydrangea bush, like in my grandma's garden. So it made me think of a special time. So I just thought this was really pretty. Oh, you know what? These might be lilacs. Okay, I'm looking at this poem over here, and now I'm thinking, but, we're in the land of pretend here. So for me, it's hydrangeas. For someone else, it, could be anything. So with that being said, I wanted to share with you something. I brought my iPad up with me here, and I'm going to bring it into screen. Let me unlock it. I wanted to share with you a little bit of how I get my ideas. I really try to bring original stuff. There are other days when I'm gleaning inspiration or trying to make something that someone else has made but make it my own. And I always give reference to where, I pulled those ideas from. But as I'm looking through things or experiencing life, I try to make reference of ways that I pull inspiration. If I'm watching a movie, I will pause it. I'll pause the movie and I will take a picture with my phone of something that I find beautiful. It could be wallpaper, again, curtains. It could be anything. Another thing that I do is I browse Pinterest. And one of the things I have saved in my Pinterest board is this picture right here. And I apologize if there's lights and glare, but what it is it is ornate picture frames that have probably been painted. They were probably wood, but they have been painted white, and they took pieces of lace, and instead of the glass, they just put lace behind it and put it on the wall. And I just think this is so beautiful. So my husband probably isn't going to let me just decorate the whole house up with lady items like this. I think it might be a little too feminine. So I can do this in my craft room, which I have limited wall space, or I can put it in my art, and that's what I choose to do. So I wanted to turn one of these into a pocket. We're going to make a lace pocket. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you've had any experience with lace and paper, paper is probably not going to, I'm going to set that aside. Paper is probably not going to easily, let me see what I have here. It's not going to easily slide behind lace, right? It's the corners are going to catch, which we don't want. So I was thinking, okay, well, I could put acetate back there. Acetate, when I looked at it, looked like it would be a little too shiny. I had a small piece here. Yeah, so I have this little piece of shiny acetate. It's picking up my lights. If I put that behind here, it has a shine to it, and I'm sure that you can see it reflected there. And that's not the look I'm going for. That would work if you have that and you want to use that. Certainly an option. Another option is if you have a large junk mail envelope. Those sometimes those windows aren't quite as shiny. And I'm sure that there's a number of things that you could find around you that you could use. I decided I had some vellum. Now, I thought originally this vellum is way too opaque. This is a heavyweight vellum. But when I put it behind here, I noticed, oh, I can see that picture through there. And then I put the lace on and I'm like, oh, I can still see this. This could work. So what I need to do is just make myself a frame. And then I'm going to put these things together behind that. So I'm going to set these aside for just a second. To make my frame, I am pulling, this is the Sizzix. It's a Tim Holtz Thinlits die. It's a deckled edge. It's a deckled edge rectangle. So they're just rectangles, but when you put two of them together, you can create a frame. So that's what I'm going to do. I keep mine on magnetic sheets because I will drop them all over the place, and this is how I stay organized. I keep these in refrigerator bins so that I can kind of thumb through. I have them all separated by little dividers and whatnot. One of these days I'm going to go through my craft room. I have leaking skylights right now that are going to be fixed, and it's going to be a disaster when they tear open my roof. But I don't want to give a tour of my craft room while there's plastic hanging. Okay, I need to decide on the size of my pocket. I'm going to look at this big one. This might be a little too big. And I'm just looking at the deckled edge, not the outer part. And I think that that's going to be a little bit bigger than what I'm hoping for. Let me think here. Maybe not. And then I have to decide how wide I want my frame. If I put this one in there, then I've probably got a frame that's going to be, it'll be about, I don't know if that's quite half an inch, and this looks more like a 1/4 inch. If I go the next one down, then I get an even thicker frame, but less lace visibility. So that's an option too. So I think I'm going to choose the smaller frame first, and if it's not enough, then we will do it over and we'll make a wider frame. So I'm just trying to decide if I want this small pocket with the lace, and I'm thinking I want to preserve some of my pictures, so I think I'm going to try that and see what that looks like. So I'm going to set this aside. I do have my Spellbinders die cutting machine. This is the Spellbinders Platinum 6. It is the medium size one. They make a bigger one, which I have as well, and then there's the small one that's for just little desktop items, but I wasn't quite sure which size I would need, and these are this bigger one is too big for my little one that goes on my desk. So, all right, let's make sure I'm in frame here. Now I'm going to put my cut. I always cut into one plate. Obviously I've made mistakes because this one's got cutting into it too, but I try to keep one plate clean for on top of my paper. And then when this one gets, I go back and forth and flip sides, and when it gets too used up, then what will happen is I will replace this plate, put this one on the bottom, and put my new plate on the top. So that's what I do. Now, for the frame, I have selected, I had some scraps of this kind of, it's a farmhouse 12 by 12 paper pack from Michaels, and it's got just all kinds of different texture. I really wanted texture in this frame, so I think I'm going to try this piece because it's got more white than wood. So let's see what we can come up with here. And just gonna do this. Now I'm going to use some low-tack tape because I'm doing a frame, so I need to make sure that it doesn't move out of place. So it's going to take a little tack away, and I'm just going to figure out my placement here. Bear with me. And this does not have to be perfect. I'm just trying to kind of eyeball where I want it and get that stuck down. Now I'll put my top plate on, and I'm going to go ahead and send that through. Sometimes this is a little, we're going to hear the cracking. I should tell you the one time I had my husband do this, and you should have seen his eyes pop out of his head. He thought he broke my machine. Oh, it was so funny. Okay, now the other reason that I taped this together is because I was thinking, is this going to be thick enough? I might want a heavier piece of cardstock to glue this to, and in that case I would want my frame in exactly the same place so that my second piece is exactly the same size. So I just want to look at my frame here with my piece. I'm going to pull this into frame so you can see. And I just kind of want to see what I've got going here. So that's looking pretty good. I'm trying to decide, do I want a wider frame? And I'm feeling like I do. So I think we're going to switch gears here. Now I'm going to save this little piece, and I'm going to take my tape off. I usually just kind of stick it to my machine here, and we'll set that aside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to take my two bigger ones, and we'll see what we can get. I'm going to keep that frame. Well, actually, I'm probably going to have to redo this either way if I choose to do it, because I just untaped it, and we would want it taped to do the supporting piece. But let's just see what we come up with here. Let's do this. Get these dies in place. Now I'm wondering if on this one, maybe I want, let's try the thicker one. So I'm going to put that one back. This is where I'm indecisive, and I didn't try anything off screen ahead of time, so I'm just doing this with you. And we'll see what this looks like. Now I am going to get some bigger pieces of tape, and the reason being is I want this to stay in place in case I need to cut a support piece to make the frame a little bit thicker. So let me just get this where I want it. I'm trying to space around the sides as well as the top. And of course I'm going to move it with my pinky. Why wouldn't I? Okay. Let's just get that good and stuck there, and we'll do that one there. Okay. And let's put a plate on and send that one through. Okay, sorry about the loud noises. This is I know you guys are used to this noise, so, well, some of you. Let me see if I can get my frame out here. Just gonna kind of flip that. Oh yeah, I'm liking that frame. Okay, now we're on to something. So, keeping my frames taped in place, I'm going to try to remove just the papers that are attached here to the tape. And we'll set those aside. Obviously, we will use these pieces somewhere along the way. Okay, now I just need a piece of, I want like a cardstock or something that has some weight to it. I'm just looking on my desk. I have all these scraps from card making. And, oh boy, come on. I got a Band-Aid on my thumb and I can't get a hold of anything. This is actually watercolor. This is some watercolor paper, but it's got a little texture to it, but we'll probably use that side. So let me think here. I'm just going to stick this down and flip it over. Let me make sure that my die is actually on this paper. And just get that stuck. And where did I put my plate? Okay. One more time here. And get our support to our frame. This is just going to make it a little thicker. Not quite as thick as like chipboard or something, but it's going to give just enough to where it feels a little more substantial. So if I get my other piece here, let me just see that's going to line up pretty spot on, and it's going to make this quite a bit more sturdy. Okay, and you could even do that another time, depending on how thick you want it. For the sake of keeping my book thinner, I'm just going to do it the once. That's this watercolor paper is probably 120-pound cardstock weight. I'm not sure what that is in GSMs. I think the 120-pound cardstock that I use is 297 GSM. It's pretty thick, good stuff. So don't quote me on that number. I'm guessing. So let me set these plates aside and close up my machine. Try not to have loud noises in your ears here. Okay. Now I'm going to just get my art glitter glue out here. And I got this new little gem bead thing for my glue from Chic Journals by H. It's a UK brand, and it took a little bit to get here, shipping, but not like you would think. Like I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know, not very long. And it is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna turn this over and just get some art glitter glue going all the way around this, right up to the edges so that it holds really well. I'm going to do the side that I'm holding last. My goal tonight is to have less glue on my hands than I did filming yesterday. I was had to wash my hands quite a few times to try to get all those glue flakes off, and I still probably have some on there today. So all right, I'm just gonna try to brace my fingers. This is gonna glue pretty fast. Art glitter glue, it doesn't mess around. It'll leave you a little time to manipulate, but not a lot. So just wants you to get it in the right spot the first try. All right, so now we've got a little sturdier frame. Okay, for now I'm gonna tuck my pin back in my glue bottle, and I'm just going to try to think this through. So we've got our frame, and I think that's going to work out actually. So now I'm going to try to cut my lace and my vellum down to size. And I think what I'm going to do is just take a pencil and mark my vellum. I'm not sure if, here, I'll bring it up on the book so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I just want this to be a little smaller, so I'm kind of putting the vellum, you know, short of the side here, and then I'm going to mark here where I know it's going to fall in there, and that gives us a cut line that way. I'm going to go ahead and bring my little trimmer over. I think that'll just be the easiest, and we'll just trim that right on our line. Right. And then we can set the rest of that vellum aside. So that'll give us a good amount of coverage for our pocket to essentially, the lace we're going to make smaller than this. So the lace I'm going to make smaller. That way this glues around the outside of the lace, and when we slide something in behind the pocket, it's not going to snag the lace, it's going to glide down. My goal is anyway that it's going to glide down this vellum. So let's pretend it's going to work. Let's be positive. So I'm going to go ahead and put another little pencil mark out here, and we'll get that part cut as well. Okay. I swear my fingers cannot grab onto anything tonight. Now the lace I'm going to have to cut with scissors, so I will find some here. Get my big old mama jamas out. And I want the lace to just be a hair smaller than my vellum. So let me push my book aside again. And let me figure out where I want to cut at, because I want a good floral pattern in here. So this is where I'm going to choose to cut, and I'm just first going to take it all the way across, and then now I want this to be a tad smaller, so I'm hoping, I don't know if you guys can even see this. Let me get something like this. This will be way easier to see. So I've just cut this area here, and I want it to be a little bit short because I'm going to have my vellum stick down all the way around it. So now this side here does not appear to be straight, so I'm going to straighten this up a bit. Okay. And just looking at it again. So I'm gonna, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I think like that little flower, I'm just gonna get right around the tippy point of that, and just trying to kind of keep this other side straight. And then we're just gonna cut straight upward. There is definitely better ways to do this. I'm trying to get it done while on camera, and there's probably like tools for this that someone's saying, oh, you should be using a rotary blade, or you should be using these type of scissors, and you're probably right. I probably should be. Okay, and I kind of see my line there that I want to go. So I'm just going to pick that up and cut across, and we'll see if we need to trim anything. So let's see where our vellum lies across this. It's definitely not square, and it doesn't have to be because our frame's going to cover most. So we have that, and then we have, well, let's do this the right way here. It's going to be like that, and then the vellum is going to glue to the back of the frame, giving us our lace pocket. And I think that's going to work out. So now here's the next part. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac to glue my lace down, and I'm going to give it a minute to dry because I just don't want the vellum to pick up anything. So I'm just going to go real close to the edge of the inner. Why is this always clogging right when I need it? I need to have like a separate pin, a little pin that's for my Fabri-Tac to get it ungunked when I'm working instead of using my other glue. But it is what it is. Okay. Let's go all the way around this edge. Not too much past, just getting a good amount of glue right along the edge. I want this to stick down all the way. Okay, and we'll put that lid back on there. I'm going to set this aside, and I don't know if I picked a right side up, but I think that's going to be my upside, and I'm turning my lace away so that it will have the right side out. And I do want to, I'm kind of trying to pull it tight while letting it set in that glue, because I just don't want there to be any sagging. So just going around and making sure I'm straight and covered here. And you could even, you know, if you had a little weight or something, I'm just going to push my hand down here. And I may even be able to trim some more of this off so that our vellum stays down. Let me see what I can do about this. And I can do the same on this side. So just going to give our vellum a little bit more stick for when, you know, for when we're sliding something in. All right. Just again, checking that it's all straight. So when I look at it, I don't want to see any buckling. All right. Now, I think that my best options here is going to be to use my art glitter glue. We could even, I could do one layer of Fabri-Tac, but I think the art glitter glue is going to suffice here. So let's just give that a go and see what happens. Now, real quick, I'm going to just kind of set this on there. Do I have a right side and a wrong side to this? Not really. Okay. I'm going to set this on there. I just kind of want to see like how far I need to go with my glue. So on the edges, I can go a little bit further. On these other parts, the top and bottom, I really want it pretty close to the lace there. And I am going to need something to press onto this. So I have this metal, I think this will work. I'm going to use this to press this down after we're done. So, okay, here goes. Let's put some, so I'm going to put glue on my lace all the way around. No, I don't want this oozing out, so, and we're going to be gluing it outside the lace, So it's not imperative that you have a whole bunch. Except for my glue bottle wants to kind of clog up here on me. All right. And I'll get some there. And then I'm going on the outside. Now remember, these sides on the outside, on the sides, we can go a little bit further. Here, I pretty much want to be right next to the lace. And again, here we have a little more leeway. And here we want to be right next to that lace. Okay. It is do or die. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to get my glue put away here. And I'm going to grab my piece of vellum. And I'm just making sure my placement looks good. And I'm going in. Now, if you squish, squish outward. And we will have to squish a little, so pushing it out. And we want these edges to be good and stuck down. So just kind of going around here and making sure that that vellum touches down on all edges. And I'm going to have to probably hold this in place because when I'm pushing down on one side, it wants to pull up on the other. So I think that I wish my vellum was just a tad bigger on this area here. But that's okay. All right. Let me see what I can do about this. So I've got some problems. The vellum is so close to the lace that it's kind of buckling a little bit. But I'm going to see if I can just kind of do a little bit of a repair job as I go. It is wrinkling up a little bit, but I think it'll still work out because you're not going to really see it that much. My only concern is that when I tuck a piece of paper in here, that it does not get caught on the vellum. So my vellum seems to be sticking better here. That will probably be my top side. No matter what my thoughts were before. So and I think, okay, so I'm gonna set this on here. Let's see, what do I have that's heavy? I've got a few things. I'm gonna do a little stacking for just a second while I'm gonna pull out my hot glue gun, I think. Because I think that's what I'm going to attach it to the book with. Bear with me as I dig for this. I should have had this out. And I'll get that plugged in. And get that guy heating up for us. Okay, let's take a look and see what we got going on here now. So this vellum definitely is wrinkling a little, but it's going to be behind the scenes. It's really just to help the paper slide across the lace. So if it's not showing here, I don't care. It's not going to make or break this deal for me. So I think when we're tucking things in, I think we're good. Let me just, let's see. One more thing we could do is we could take a little piece. I mean, you could, I don't think I'm going to worry about it because this is just my sample book. But if you had a gap, an area that, if you're going to tuck stuff in here and you think it's going to catch on something up here, like the edge of this paper, you can take one more strip of vellum and glue it across the back here. Just glue it over top and overlap this piece of vellum just to get that. So that's just another option. We're not going to do that today because this is my sample book and it's not necessary. All right. So let me get rid of that. We're going to cork the glue here because we got the hot glue warming up. Let me set that aside. Scissors away. I am definitely someone who tries to clean up as I go. I know you guys probably don't want to sit here and watch me clean up. So let's just get to work here. Oh, isn't this fancy? It's keeping the book open. I love it. Okay, so this is going to go here. And I can see, I don't know if it's going to show on screen very well, but I can see her through, not up here, but once this is down, I can definitely see. If I were to put, let's see, do I have, what do I have? Let me find a darker piece of ephemera. Okay, I don't know what this is. It's Tim Holtz. So if I were to put, you can definitely see it moving behind the scenes here. So you can see through. Let's see. My hot glue is warming up here. I think we're good to go. And I'm just looking here where I'm going to be placing it. So I'm going to definitely kind of pay attention to my lines down here. I don't want to overlap that because it's not big enough to overlap the sides. So I'm going to place it just above there and then evenly between the two sides. So I'm going to use my hot glue and I'm going to go ahead and go around the edge of this to create my pocket. And you definitely could use a different type of glue for this because we're on film and I want it to stick very quickly. I'm using my hot glue. This is just my sample book. Okay. Oh, I'm loving this. See how fun it can be to, not just watch other crafters and say, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. In which you're more than welcome to try this. I encourage you to, actually. I try stuff that other people make, but it is really, there's something rewarding about, looking at something and then suddenly having your own stroke of genius. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but your own stroke of genius that makes you inspired to create something brand new. Now, someone probably has done this. I am not saying this is brand new, but this is the first time I've seen it. I showed you where I pulled my inspiration. My husband was sitting right next to me when I thought, oh, this would be a great thing to do in my sample book. Because sometimes I sit here and like, oh my gosh, what will I do next week to keep people entertained? My subscriber count's growing. I have all this, pressure to maintain an every Sunday thing that I committed to. And I know you guys don't pressure. I'm not, I'm jesting. I'm making a joke of it. Let's see if I have some goodies that we can decorate. I'm going to pull a little collection of Tim Holtz goodies. And let's see. I thought those were hydrangeas. I could put something like that in, but I don't know if I want that color in there though. So let's look and see what else we have here. All these different flowers. Looking back at this, I might have thought to go around the edge with my, my blending tool here to kind of just dress it up a bit, but it's a little late now, but I'm going to see if I can get it just a little, just a hair. Yeah, that's actually picking up. Definitely working. I'll take a little away from that stark white there. Just go gently so you don't overdo it and mess something up, especially at this point. All right. So anything I put on here, you know, I can just distress the edges up. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for. This is where I get all indecisive and weird about things because it's like such a commitment. I feel like I want, you know, something shabby chic. I feel like these are more kind of nature. What do I have? I'm reaching. One of these days I'm going to show you this really cool setup I have over here for all my little bits. I have not the right items. I do have these little, these are from my Porch Prints. It's like little, just kind of like different numbers. Some of them are street names. I don't know. So we've got those. And what else? Let's see. These are from my friend Lena at Junk Journal Craft Lena. She is so talented. She makes the coolest digitals on Etsy, and she has just been an amazing creator. These are some of hers that I already have cut up from a digital. Let me see what we've got. Because there might be, ooh, I mean, I didn't really want color, but maybe because we're in the garden, maybe I need like one pop of color like that. Let me see. I'm just playing around here, just having a little play with things. Let's see, we're at 42 minutes, so I'm definitely wrapping up here any second. What if we just did a little something like that? Lena, your stuff is so cool. Okay, I do want to get rid of the white core on my little butterfly here. When I cut my butterflies out, and I've heard multiple people say this, I just don't worry about fussy cutting the antennae out from, you know, it's too hard. I don't like the white space, so I don't like white space around my, oh, jumped out of my hands. You guys saw it. So this is a little bright, so I'm just taking what's on my brush here and I'm just giving it a little brushing of color. And I'm going to dip it a little bit more for this one because this one's going to need a little darker edging for what we're doing here. All right. Okay. Let's see. I think I turned my hot glue off, so we will just get done with our glitter glue. we're kind of wrapping this up tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in for the Sample Book Sunday. It's something I really enjoy, and it's been really fun to have so many returning folks, being part of this with me. And I'm going to fold this butterfly's wings just a little so it kind of pops, but then I can get glue here. And I just like getting to know people that are part of my journey, It really means a lot to me. And Lena is one of those, she's been very supportive of me, and I try to, in turn, support her back. And I mean, look at her, look at these things. So much cool stuff. And my butterfly is just flying off this page. Just beautiful. And we're just bringing his wings up. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's it. I mean, the whole idea was just to get a lace pocket. Let's see, do I have any? Probably have something that we could tuck in there. What do I have? Like a tab or anything. This is just something Tim Holtz would have. I don't know if I want to cover up that lady. She's really kind of the star of the show here. All right. Well, we'll put this little love postcard in there. You can see her. We can see our, oh, that like that. We can see our little stamp here. We can add a couple things. And I think that's going to be about it. I'm just going to leave my postcard for now. I'll find some things to throw in there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. And I have some cool stuff coming up this week. So if you are going to be watching, I would suggest watching either, let me think here, my Tuesday or Wednesday would be something I would tune into. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Have a good day today, and we'll be, in my household, we're going to be having a Super Bowl party, so that's what we'll be doing this afternoon. You guys let me know what you're up to. I'll look forward to talking to you. Bye.